Hey, all you ghoulish gourmets. I'm back again. This is a pre-recorded video, not live this time. So hopefully no technical issues this time. I had a few technical issues with the live for the choppy mall orange Julius recipe, but I managed to get through it and successfully made an orange Julius, which I've since finished up. Okay, so I've got all my stuff ready for Slauson spicy beer chili. Now, a little story behind this for anybody that cares. Um, I was under the impression that Casey, the homicidal homemaker, was going to have a video and or recipe on her site, homicidalhomemaker.com, which I'm going to add to the description for this video a little later. Uh, so it seems, as I said earlier when I was doing the other live, it seems that maybe this is an abandoned project. She hasn't done anything in a little while. I haven't checked her videos to see if she's done more recent videos instead of, updating the site. Now, the site has a 2023 copyright on it. So I can only assume that maybe she's working on some stuff. Maybe she's just busy with other things. However, in any event, I could not find the Slauson's spicy beer chili, inspired by Tourist Trap, which she had advertised on her site at one time. So I thought, well, I want to make this. So why don't I just make it my own? So there is a site called damndelicious.net, which I'm going to try to remember to put their website in the description for this video as well, for the best Instapot chili, and it is also a beer chili. Now, I've never made chili with beer, so this is going to be a first time out for me as far as making this. And the great thing is, I can use my Instapot. Now, I do apologize because the way my brain works, I forgot that I was doing another cooking video. And so I had Steve take his laptop out of here, which I was using to have the other webcam hooked up. So this is going to be a one camera deal. So just bear with me as I do this because I wasn't going to have him drag this stuff all back out again for me to hook everything up and get it ready. But what I do have is I have cut up all my onions, peppers, um, opened my cans of tomato puree and kidney beans and all that. Which speaking of kidney beans, they suggested using black beans in this particular recipe. I wanted to make it more in tune with the horror thing, so I will be using dark red kidney beans. Okay. So that was the one substitution I made, or that one change I made. I don't have the beer out here right now because, from what Steve tells me, if you leave a beer out and it's warm, it's going to be skanky and it's going to affect the taste of whatever food you're putting it in. Okay. So I didn't want to do that. So the beer will remain in the fridge until I get ready to add it to the chili. Okay. So let's go over some of the things that we need to put in the chili. Okay. So actually, I lied. There was another substitution I made. They want you to cook your meat in canola oil. Eh, Canola oil is okay, and I do use it for some things. However, I prefer olive oil. So I'm using Bertolli's extra virgin olive oil to cook the meat. Now, you could cook the meat without any oil at all. You know, I think this is mainly so it doesn't stick to the Instapot when you're cooking it. Okay. Um, which, if you, this is what I got as far as ground beef. It's just what was on special at Kroger, 80% lean, 20% fat. I think if you get enough fat, you should have enough grease in there that it won't stick. But just to be on the safe side, we're going to put a little olive oil in the pot. Okay. Um, Now, I am going to be using 2 pounds of this. So I have 2 packages of ground beef. Okay. Also going to be using 4 cloves of garlic. Now, generally, instead of getting fresh garlic, I usually get this Spice World garlic. This kind is already in olive oil and it's very good. If you can't find this kind, I'm sure they've got the jars of the regular minced garlic that you can use. Okay. And they even have a little handy thing that says 1 teaspoon is about 1 clove of garlic. So in this case, we need 4 cloves of garlic. So we're going to be using 4 teaspoons out of this. Right? And what else do we need? We need 1 medium sweet onion diced. Okay. So I've got my onions all cut up. We also need 1 red bell pepper diced, which I also have there. And we need 1 poblano chili. And they say minced. I did the best I could in the short time I had. There you go. You can chop it a little finer if you like. We also need 3 tablespoons tomato paste. I like Heinz. You can use whatever type of tomato paste you want. But when I'm dealing with tomato products, I've found that I like to use the name brand stuff but just because it has a stronger taste to me. So I've got Hunt's tomato paste. And now here's a new one. Well, we'll get to that. Right. So I've got 2 types of chili powder here because I need 3 tablespoons of chili powder, and I wasn't sure if this was going to cut it. But I do have McCormick organic chili powder. And I also have the store brand. This is from Kroger, Smart Way chili powder, to, just in case there's not enough in here. So you can use your favorite chili powder there. We also need some, they say smoked paprika, I think is how some people pronounce it. I just got ground paprika right now. Smoked paprika is a little bit more expensive. This is just the store brand from Kroger, Smidge and Spoon. And we also need some dried oregano, which I just got. Again, this is the Kroger store brand, Smidge and Spoon leaf oregano. And here's a new one on me. I had never used cocoa powder in my chili. I'm assuming this is going to make it rich. Okay. I'm guessing you could leave it out if you don't want to put 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder in your chili. That sounds gross to you. I think you can get by with leaving it out. Okay. Um, Also, we need some ground cumin. I don't know. Either way might be wrong. Okay. As you can see, you can call this spice whatever you want. You can call it cumin. You can call it cumin. Okay. So I've got again some uh, Simple Truth Organic from Kroger. All right. What else do we need? Now I'm going to get this out to show you. Then I'm going to put it back for you to use it. Now you need 12 ounces, which there's a lot more 12 ounces in here, of either lager or Pilsner beer. I got Modelo. You may have another favorite that you want to get. So I'm going to put this back further in. We also need some beef stock. We need 1.5 cups. This is going to be more than what we need, but just to be on the safe side, I went on and got a whole container. This is again Kroger brand beef stock. All right. We need two 10-ounce cans of tomato puree. Um, so I got one big can. This is Muir Glen Organic. They support firefighters, which is always a good thing. This is tomato puree. This is like 28 ounces. So we're probably going to be using a little bit less than it is in the. And we also need, in the case of their recipe, they said two cans, two 15-ounce cans of black beans. I am substituting with kidney beans. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of black beans anyway. Um, okay. So we need some kosher salt. I have here. This is Diamond Crystal brand. And we also need some pepper, freshly ground. They say black pepper. However, my black pepper is gone missing. So I have black peppercorn pepper with the grinder that you can grind yourself, and I also have some ground white pepper. I figure it's going to taste the same. All right, and for our toppings that I don't have out here, they're still in the refrigerator. You need some fresh cilantro leaves, which I do have out here. Some sour cream and some shredded cheddar cheese. Okay, so let's get started now that we've shown everything that we need to do here. So we want to set our Instapot. This is, I believe mine's a six quart. Okay, this is the inner pot there. And we're going to put our ground beef in there. So open this up. But before we do that, we're going to turn on the saute setting on our Instapot. And want this on high. And then we're going to add our oil. And once our oil is heated up a little bit, we're going to put our ground beef in. So I'm going to go ahead and put our 1.5 tablespoons of, they say canola oil, I'm saying olive oil, in here and let it start heating up here. And my mom always taught me that it's a good idea to like clean up as you're going. So that's sometimes why I put up things when I'm done with them to just get them out of the way here. It makes it a lot easier on you later on. And this is also going to be me and Steve's supper or dinner for the upcoming week as well. So killing two birds with one stone. I know that sounds gruesome, but um, essentially, that's what we're doing. We're taking care of two tasks in one. I'm making this video showing you guys how to do this, as well as making dinner for the upcoming week for me and Steve. So we'll have something to eat. And that is important, right? You gotta feed yourself, gotta feed your spouse. I'm gonna go ahead and open this other package of ground beef. I'm sure I have this on high, so this will cook. And the Pioneer Woman, because I do have a Pioneer Woman Instapot. Um, all Instapots are different. We're just like all ovens and stoves and all that are different. So I believe mine has a setting that when it gets to hot, it will actually show on the screen here as hot, HOT, all in caps. If it doesn't, when I think this gets hot enough, sometimes you can look at the oil in here, and when it starts to kind of like get clear and kind of a little bubbly, and I'm seeing the little bubbles start to come up in here, I know it's time to put the ground beef in. So again, I don't know how many of you have Instapots in your household, but if um, you can do this in a slow cooker. I think people have done it in a slow cooker, and they have just um, cooked it, slow cooked it for several hours. They put all the stuff in there. They fried up their ground beef, of course, beforehand. Because one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to put just soggy raw ground beef in here and then expect it to cook. Fry it first or cook it first, and then you can. If you're using a slow cooker, you might want to just fry it in a skillet with a little bit of oil if you choose to, and then put all the ingredients in the slow cooker. Okay. But the great thing about these Instapots is they're kind of like two-in-one deals. You can, cook things in it. You can fry things in it, saute, all of that stuff, and don't have to worry about dirtying up another uh, skillet or and splashing grease all over your stove and all that stuff for you to clean up later. Okay, I'm thinking this is probably about ready. I need to put the meat in. So I'm going to start. And something I like to do, I don't know if everybody does this, I kind of try to, get a handful of the, and you can hear that sizzling, the ground beef, and I kind of try to crumble it, run it between my fingers and kind of break it up a little bit. Now, it's telling me it's hot, so at this point, I'm going to try to put this back on normal just so the ground beef doesn't cook too fast, right? Because you don't want things to burn. There's one thing I've learned about Instant Pots is if you're not careful, they will show burn on the screen. Okay, so while this is cooking, we're going to get out, in this case, I'm going to get out my Pioneer Woman spatula, wooden spatula deal out. And I'm just going to kind of break this ground beef up as it cooks and kind of mix it around so it's not sitting on one side too long, right? You want to cook it about 3 to 5 minutes until you notice it's good and brown. You don't have any red looking areas because we want our meat to be all cooked. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video because you guys don't need to see me, sitting here cooking this meat for all this time. So what I will do is I will pause this and then I will come back when this meat's all done. Okay, so while I was away, I not only browned our ground beef, that you can see there. But I drained it real good because I'm thinking that you guys watching this are going to be a lot like me, a lot like Steve, a lot like other people. You don't want your stuff swimming in grease that you're going to eat. So it's a good idea to drain off all that excess grease. And I did have some excess grease. It was like the ground beef was swimming in it. So we wanted to get rid of that. Okay. So we've set our ground beef aside. And now we're going to add our garlic. Remember, we said we wanted 4 cloves of this. So if you're using the jar kind, you can just measure out 4 teaspoons. Put into the Instapot, right? I gotta find my right measuring spoon here. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. If we can get another teaspoon. I guess. Never fear though, okay. And this is something I am very guilty of. Is dropping things in between the liner and the actual Instapot. So try to keep that as clean as I can. I do have another jar of this stuff. That's why I said never fear if I don't quite get full. But I managed to get. All right. So we've got that in there. What else do we need? We need to put our onion in here. Oh, we've got our onion already chopped up. Put that in the Instapot. We've got our red bell pepper. We're also going to put into the Instapot on top of that onion there. And we got our poblano pepper. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. That's the first time I've used one of these. Okay. In there. All right. So, what are we going to do? We're going to stir it. We're going to cook. So, we're going to set this back on saute. About 6 minutes. Okay. We're just going to saute this stuff for about 6 minutes until all this stuff is tender. And what I'm doing is just mixing all this stuff together. And just so I don't bore you guys for this 6 minutes while I'm cooking this, I'm going to pause the recording again, and then I will be back when we're ready to put our seasonings in. Okay, so we're back again. I have cooked our onions and our peppers and our garlic about 6 minutes. It's smelling really good. So now we want to put in our tomato paste, our chili powder, our paprika, oregano, cocoa powder, and cumin. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So again, how much tomato paste do we need? We need 3. We need 3 tablespoons of this. Okay. I can be back over there real quick. So, and I had a spoon around here somewhere. I'm not going to be stingy. This tomato paste. Just take note. It's probably going to take all of this 6-ounce can of tomato paste. So for future reference. And I wouldn't recommend doing those in the kitchen if you're having a bunch of people over. No, but if you're just cooking this for yourself or yourself and your spouse, so we got that. We put our chili powder in. Or chili powder in there. So again, we need 3 tablespoons of chili powder. So let's see if my organic chili powder, my McCormick, is going to do the trick, or if I'm going to have to get some more of it. So there's 2. Put that in there. And we need 1 more tablespoon. Almost did it, but not quite. So we're going to get a little more of this other chili powder. Go back in there. Okay. Again, we can put away things that we're not going to be using. Get it out of the way. Not going to be using it anymore. So we got some peppers to put in. So let's get our peppers. So we need 2 teaspoons. This. I'll find my teaspoon again. Okay. Put that in. Okay. And we're going to put some oregano in there. So we need 2 teaspoons of oregano. Here. So you may be thinking, well, we're not making like spaghetti or anything. We need oregano. But oregano can be used for a lot of different things, not just pastas and stuff like that. And we need our cocoa powder. We need, 2 teaspoons of the cocoa powder. Right? Before I dip my teaspoon into the cocoa powder, I'm going to wipe it off because we don't want to get these other spices mixed in with our cocoa, because guess what? Next time we go to make a dessert, sorry if you hear Darcy barking, we don't want a cocoa to taste like other spices, all right? All right. And our cumin, okay? How much cumin do we need? We need 1.5 teaspoons, so. Okay. Okay. So, mixing that all in here with our onions and peppers. Mixed up real good there. All right. Looks good. Okay. Now we're going to stir in the beer. And while we're stirring in the beer, we're going to scrape up those little brown bits from the bottom of the pot that they always talk about. Because those are the good bits, right? So we need 12 ounces of the beer. I know people that drink a lot of beer are probably going to scream when I say that I'm going to throw out the rest of this. Because, again, I'm not a beer drinker. So I am just going to measure out 12 ounces of this. And it gets kind of foamy, so you may have to wait for the foam to go down just a tad here. I don't cook with beer very much. Some people will swear by it. So please don't scream that I say I'm probably going to throw the rest of that out. Okay. So we've got our beer here. You can hear that foaming up in there. I'll mix it around in there. Good. Scraping up those brown pieces from the bottom. Because I believe this was like, yeah, this is 24 ounces of beer. So I'm maybe going to put, a few more ounces in there just to make sure that a lot of that wasn't foam. Okay. Stir. Still scraping on the bottom. Okay. All right. We're going to stir in our beef stock. Okay. So we need 1.5 cups of the beef stock. So measure out a tenth, not to make it messy. We've got 12 ounces of beer in here as well as 12 ounces of beef stock. I am going to keep that beef stock because I might use it for something else. Okay. And we're also going to put our tomato puree in here, which I'm going to say, what the hey, I'm going to put the whole. Give it a little mix there. Some people said that this chili was kind of soupy, but I don't know. Mine's already seeming kind of thick. I'm hoping as it cooks, it will get thicker. Because I like my chili pretty thick too. If I want soup, I'm going to eat soup. If I want chili, I'm going to eat chili, right? All right, so we're going to put our kidney beans in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain these beans because if you drain them, that's going to take a little more liquid out, okay? We're going to drain our kidney beans a little bit before we put them in there. But for people that have used Anspot, you know that you need a little bit of liquid in there, otherwise things will burn. I don't know. But we have put beer in here, and we have also put beef stock in here as well. Don't think we're going to have to worry about having a dry pot. Giving that a good mix. Okay. Again, don't lick your fingers or lick the utensils or anything if you're cooking for a crowd of people. Not real good etiquette. All right. And we also need to put our drained ground beef back in. You don't need chili unless you're making vegetarian chili. That's in there. And also make sure to have, your cracker of choice if you like saltines or whatever. Or you have some of those on hand to keep with this. I know Steve likes to have saltines. Yeah. We got that mixed up real good. We're also going to season it with our kosher salt and our pepper. But remember, do a taste test, put a little bit of it in here, taste it, see if it's to your liking. Because seasonings and salt and pepper, especially, are a matter of preference. I'm also going to put a little pepper in here. Put my black pepper in here. Good measure here. Mix this up and then we'll take a taste of it. I'm going to put a little more salt in here. And something I'm going to do that I usually put in my other chili is just, I'm going to add a little extra chili powder. And again, this is a matter of preference, guys and gals. It depends on how spicy you want your chili, right? I'm going to put a little more chili powder in mine. Good thing to take into account is like as you add things, add a little bit, taste it, see how it tastes. Add a little more if you think it needs a little more. But something else that I usually put in my chili, but this chili didn't call for, is a little crushed red pepper. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of crushed red pepper in. Okay. mix that up in there real good. Again, don't lick the utensils if you're cooking for a crowd of people, okay? Especially if you're doing a video on it. So, again, that's not good. That's not a good thing, really, to show on a video. However, being as this is going to be for Steve and I only, I think it's good. All right. So, once we get all that done, we're going to put our top on the Instapot. And anybody that has an Instapot knows that it makes that noise. And Steve used to kid me that who's playing video games in there? Okay. Also, make sure it's set to ceiling, not venting. Okay. And we're going to put this on high pressure for 18 minutes. Okay. I'm going to adjust my time on here. Okay. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is in the video here because I'm getting ready to do Breakfast Club watch along. I may try to take some pictures and stuff from the chill, once chili's in a bowl so you can actually, you guys and gals can see it. I'll put it on the Deadites on Deck Facebook page in case y'all want to check that out. And remember, once it's cooked for 18 minutes, when it's finished cooking, you can do a quick release, which means that you just turn the valve to venting, let the steam go out, okay? And I see I got something all over my cabinet splashing around, which I'm going to have to wipe off later. Okay. So do a quick release and then stir in cilantro. You can season it with more salt and pepper if you like. And you can also garnish it with sour cream and cheese, the shredded cheddar cheese, if you so desire. If that's not something you like in your chili, by all means, leave it off. Okay. So that's it for movie Munchies. And we officially made, besides the cooking part, which I don't think you guys want to wait for 18 minutes for it to actually cook. But I am going to try my best to put a picture on the Dead Ice on Deck Facebook page so that you guys can see how it turned out. I think it's going to turn out pretty good. It tasted pretty tasty when I was taste testing it, putting the seasonings in. And I'm going to clean off my cabinets where I've splattered stuff on them and get ready for the Breakfast Club watch along. I hope a lot of you can join me for that. I'm not sure what that was that flashed up there on the screen. I hope it wasn't anything that was going to prevent us from recording. Anyway, thank you guys and gals for joining me for another Movie Munchies. And hopefully I'll be able to be back with something here shortly. Another recipe that I want to try. And also, I am going to be sure when I upload this, put the Homicidal Homemakers website in there as well as damndelicious.net for those of you wanting to check out Casey at homicidalhomemaker.com and also see what recipe I kind of sort of went by for Slauson spicy beer chili. So I'm going to get on out of here. I'm going to skedaddle on out of here, in fact, and get ready for the watch along. And I will see everybody next time. Have a good night, guys, and enjoy Movie Munchies. Bye.